designed to be the ultimate act of gang loyalty. 9 days ago, they arrested 7 teens and a woman in connection with a plot to kill a Bay County Sheriff's deputy. Now the man they allegedly marked for murder is talking to News 13. And he has a message for the teens and their parents in this week's edition of SceneOfTheCrime.
Nobody in Bay County wants to see gangs here.
During his 19 years in law enforcement, Deputy Brian Taylor has made countless arrests. He had no idea one of them would lead to a plan to take his life. In April of 2003, Taylor arrested 15-year-old William Smith of Fountain for allegedly stealing a four-wheeler. At the end of the year, one of Taylor's fellow deputies caught wind of a shocking plot.
He told me that he had heard some rumors and basically kind of gave me the heads up to, watch my back.
Taylor says the next day, investigators told him the details of the plot. Smith and 4 other Fountain teens, including these 3 Anderson brothers and Paul Rose, allegedly planned to break into Taylor's home, tie him up, steal his weapons, and set his house on fire. Taylor says at first he didn't take the threat seriously. People threaten law enforcement officers all the time. Then he started thinking of his family.
Our kids are grown, but I have a wife there that has nothing to do with my police work, and for someone to think they would, if they're going to come to my house and harm me, they're going to obviously have to harm my wife also.
So that's when you got a little concerned?
Yes, sir. That was my major concern.
Taylor lives in Fountain and has met each of these teen suspects at least once. They are allegedly part of a gang called the Insane Gangsta Crips. Investigators accuse them of a string of arsons and burglaries in the Fountain area, crimes the gang refers to as fear missions. And Taylor's murder was to be the ultimate fear mission. It was supposed to take place on December 23rd of last year, but investigators say Smith's mother, Eleanor, wouldn't let the teens use her vehicle. Taylor says that's the most disturbing part of the crime.
From my understanding, the parent knew of their alleged plan or plot and just didn't want them using her vehicle. She apparently didn't have any problem with carrying out the act.
Well, she said, okay, just don't use my truck, but go ahead.
And that's basically what we're talking about.
Do you think they would have done it?
I don't know. They may have tried, but, one thing I'd like to tell the mother or the parents of these kids, it's much better if they got caught. They can at least visit them in jail instead of at the graveyard.
Yeah, he's a big guy. The kids probably would have had a tough time with him if they had tried it. Now, Deputy Taylor tells me he wants to send a very clear message here. He says police officers should be looked up to and not hated, and killing one of them is not going to raise your stature.
Now, Chris, what about the people involved? What kind of charges are they facing?
Well, they were finally arrested after a 2-month investigation on January 23rd, which is when we first reported their arrest. Now, William Smith, David and Justin Anderson, Amos Anderson, and Paul Rose are all charged with conspiring to murder a law enforcement officer, burglary, and arson. Doug Rayburn is charged with just arson and burglary, and Eleanor Smith and her 16-year-old daughter Christina are charged with accessory to burglary, principal to burglary, and grand theft. Investigators say Eleanor often drove the teens to burglary sites. Now, authorities plan to extradite another team from Georgia that may be associated with some of these crimes.
All right, we'll continue to follow it.
Of course.
Good job. Thanks, Chris.